Possibly I've got the delivery numbers for NIO and also other EV companies for May in China. I don't know if this source is reliable. I've got it for the first time, and so I guess maybe tomorrow we'll find out, in case that all of the numbers are getting published tomorrow already. So for this time, let's see this video as kind of an exercise. We can match it later on whether or not these numbers been true. But for now, let's talk about what these leaked numbers suggest, and then also what they would mean for each of the companies. So I just made a post about this in a Patreon community, and by the way, if you want to join this community, you can go to patreon.com/dongxi and then choose the Discuss tier, which will give you a link to join this separate Patreon community. And otherwise, you can also select a Chin site newsletter, which are usually a sort of long posts in which I describe things like, currently I just published today, where are the markets heading, so giving you my views on the current market situation and also what this will mean for growth, technology and Chinese equities. Anyways, now back to these numbers, but maybe first something to celebrate here, which I've just posted as well. This was on my WeChat timeline and shows you a live stream on WeChat, so the Tencent super app, and is by Disneyland, which is actually celebrating right now sort of the end of the lockdowns, right? Because tomorrow the city will open up again, but at the same time, well, I think that is actually rather how they have planned this event, is actually Children's Day, which they're celebrating with fireworks here. And so these two events are coming together, and this will actually now be the trigger which hopefully gets us away from these terrible numbers here, because if you look over them here, they are sort of not very good. And that's of course is because Shanghai has been in lockdown, Beijing has been sort of going through some very severe restrictions. And here what we see is the first one is Tesla, so that's Tesla Model 3 and Model Y deliveries. All in all, from the 2nd of May till 29th of May, only at 8,455 cars. Well, once again, Tesla has been very much hit by these lockdown measures, because Giga Shanghai, that's their local plant in China, obviously has been almost out of business for a very, very long time. Only since a couple of days and maybe weeks, it's now back, and there have been rumors around whether or not it's actually back to 80% or 100% to production. I think lately they're getting there, so June should be actually very good, I would say. But of course, during May they have been extremely supply constrained. They couldn't produce much, and so whether or not this number is true, I'm not so sure. Actually, I think could actually be higher in Tesla's case, because they have been producing since quite some days in May actually. And usually, you know, that's the thing about Tesla, they are the best at using such distractions and issues that are hitting the entire industry, and are usually getting out of such a crisis as the winner, relatively speaking, to what's happening in the industry. Then next, Xpeng here at around 8,700 vehicles. That would be not a good number for Xpeng, to be honest, because first of all, their main turf is actually in Guangzhou, Shenzhen area, where they have the biggest customer base and also most of their suppliers and yeah, the production basically. So of course they have also been hit due to these lockdown measures and so on, but they should actually be the ones who should kind of strive in this environment as well, because you know, they are not in Shanghai, not affected on the production side too much, and also not all of their customer base is in Shanghai. The true winner actually, based on these, and once again, this is kind of a leak. I don't know whether or not this document here is actually legit or not, but the winner would be Li Auto, Li Xiang. Once again, this is not an EV, it's a hybrid car in a way, but they would be delivering more than 10K. And that would show that they would have navigated these lockdowns at the best compared to Xpeng, Tesla, and also NIO, and I'll speak about them in a minute. But of course, yeah, Li Xiang, so Li Auto, their main customer base is also in Shanghai, as far as I know. I'm not entirely sure currently where their production line is and how much the supplier base is in Shanghai, but a 10K delivery number would actually be quite good for all that's been happening, meaning they will certainly have 0 deliveries in Shanghai as well. So if that's the case, Li Auto has been doing best. For NIO, we would be at around 5,000 deliveries, 5,500 maybe. Of course, this is only the second till the 29th, so maybe could arrive at around 6,000 deliveries, who knows. The ET7 would be jumping around 1,000, above 1,000 deliveries, but yeah, really low numbers here for the ES8 here, for example. And yeah, of course, NIO, the main customers are actually in Shanghai and then next in Beijing. So those 2 cities that have been highly affected by the lockdowns. And then also, of course, NIO's plant was going through those shutdown periods as well, but actually has been, of course, working on relieving that. But maybe still lots of their supplier base is also based around Shanghai. So yeah, these impacts could be both on the supply side as well as on the production side. Do I think these numbers are realistic? Well, sort of. I think, yeah, something higher than 6,000 deliveries would actually be a surprise to me, given the severity of the lockdowns in Shanghai. So 0 deliveries there for sure. That's usually a couple of thousand cars in NIO's case. And then the supply and factory side as well. It could be around this number, so similar to April numbers basically. And yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if it was around 5,500 to 6,000, and I would be surprised actually if we see significantly more than that. So all in all, I think these numbers, they could be surprisingly accurate here. I'm not sure whether or not the source is truly leaking the right numbers here, and also these are not the full month's number, but we will see tomorrow what the exact number will be. Will such numbers matter for the stock price? Well, in case of NIO, because it's very volatile, possibly yes, also for the other Chinese EV startups. For Tesla, not so sure actually. Most people know that the second quarter will be possibly a negative catalyst here, as Gary Black describes it. But he also explains very well, in my views, that saying here that's not how markets work. If a quarter is hurt by a one-time exogenous event, the market will look through it. Stock prices are the present value of all future years, not a COVID-tainted quarter. So yes, the market should actually be able to look beyond 2 times, like 2 times bad deliveries, like 2 months of bad deliveries, or a bad quarter here in the case of Tesla, but certainly also NIO will come under pressure. I will discuss that with the upcoming earnings, of course. But on the other hand, of course, also these companies highly rely on their growth numbers, and in the case of Tesla, also free cash flow and profitability. So it does matter in a way, but on the other hand, the bigger news should be that China is now opening up again and Shanghai is opening up, and so this should be the bigger news for the catalyst regarding the stock price, as investors will actually be looking forward and see what the rest of the year, based on this new situation with an open economy there. So that's it for now. Lots of speculation. Take it with a pinch of salt. This doesn't mean that certainly the numbers will be in that region. Anyways, I hope you enjoyed it. Thank you guys for watching, and see you in the next one.